came on early. I'm like 9 minutes early because Instagram is always doing something crazy for me. Hey, Naruthi. Hey, girl. So, you guys, y'all, okay. I get excited when certain people show up. I mean, I'm excited for everybody, but Ruthie's my boo. And when my boos come in, I got to give them a little shout out. Hey, Taryn. Oh, yay. Hey, guys. Okay, so we're going to get started in a few minutes. I just wanted to make sure that IG Live was not being mean to me. Thank you, my love. Thank you so much. Hey, Dion. Hey, girl. Um, just had to make sure that Facebook Live was working and that we're here. If you guys have any questions that, this is Therapy Thursday. Welcome to Therapy Thursday. Hey, Amber. Thank you guys so much for coming. So Therapy Thursday is a session. We'll be here for about 30 minutes and we're just going to talk. Please feel free to invite yourself to go live with me. I don't know exactly. I think you pushed the little happy faces on the side. Or you can just ask a question. We do have a topic to discuss. Yes, no, I'm early because I had to make sure that IG wasn't doing the most. I'm trying to, I'm just trying to be better with my life, girl. You know how I am. I'm trying to level up, early, not late. So, Therapy Thursdays is your session. So any questions that you have, anything that you want to go on the journey of discovery, that you don't mind having others here. I mean, we're a village, so let's just talk about stuff. Let's talk about the things that matter to us. Hey, Maisha. Hey, girl. I know we early. I know we're early. So let's see. When we get to 2 o'clock, I'm going to go ahead and dive in. But for now, let's just hang out. Let's hang out for the next 6 minutes while people start to gather and join and think about the things that you guys want to talk about today. Like I said, I have my topic. It's exciting, but I definitely want to hear from you guys. And really, just because we have a topic doesn't mean that, or a theme. It's a theme, not a topic. Just because we have a theme does not mean that there are not other things that we can touch on. So it's, like I said, it's your session. It's whatever it is that you want to talk about. And some of you guys I talk to on a regular basis. We do sessions all the time. So if you'd like to bring some of that stuff into our village, I'm sure that it will be really helpful for other people. We're all going through things, and this is a safe space for us. Village life is all about creating safe spaces to learn and practice skills of mental wellness. I want to create a safe space for us. And it's public because there are so many people who are going through the same things that we are, the same struggles, the same experiences. Y'all would be surprised. We are all going through the same thing, different levels, different details, but the same stuff. So if you don't mind sharing, please do. I'll share a little bit too, because I definitely don't mind. So let's see, 5 more minutes and we're gonna get it popping, get it crack-a-lacking. So how are you guys' days going? Amber and Dion and Naruthi and Maisha, are you guys working? You guys at work? I'm working. This is my work. I'm working. What are you guys up to? What are you doing? Are there anything going on? Are there any things going on at work that you guys are feeling triggered by? The work environment can be a place where triggers just live, where you can be triggered for anger, triggered to feel not good enough. You can be triggered to feel criticized. Do I DM you? You can DM me my question. You can DM me your question. You can just write it in the group chat. But if you'd like it to be private or anonymous, you can DM it. I'm actually going to pull up Instagram on my computer so that I can see it. Great idea, right? Let's see. So absolutely. Yeah, I'm working side. Haha. Yeah, for sure. I feel you. I feel it. But you know what? You do what you have to do until you can do what you love to do, right? I'm here for that. I don't know if I can see DMs on the Instagram online. Hey, Kim. Let's see. I don't think I have access to my messages on here. So you can just, you can, if you feel comfortable with the question, you can, you can make it sound a little different if you need to. Like, take out some details, make it more vague if you don't feel comfortable with sharing your details. You can do whatever you want to do. This is your session. You can do whatever you want to do. You can write in code. I know you, girl. Just put a little code in there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I won't know what that is. I'm just joking. Hello. Come on in, peoples. So we haven't quite gotten started yet. I was just explaining that Therapy Thursdays is for you. It's your session. This is the place where you can come and connect with other people. You can give your questions. So I'm waiting on questions, Kim. So what's your question? And Ruthie was just asking if she should DM me her questions. You guys, if DMs don't work on the online version of Instagram, so email me. Let me see. I'm going to put my email into the chat. Let's see. And then you can email, if you don't feel comfortable, you want to be anonymous with your questions, just email me the question and I will keep that up. Or use this to send like a Google Hangout. I don't know how to do that, that post that sticks and keeps coming back up. I'm new to Instagram Live, so that's my email address. If you guys don't want to put your questions in the chat, then email me the question and I have my email up and we can talk about it that way. Sound good? So we got 1 minute and we're gonna go ahead and get started. But Therapy Thursdays is for you. Ask your questions. We'll talk about it. We have a theme that we're going to go over and it's our theme for August. But this is for you. It's whatever you want to talk about. This is a safe space. I want to create a safe space for us to learn and practice skills for mental wellness. This is our village. And here we are. So 2 o'clock. Welcome to Therapy Thursdays with Mia Garrett. So our theme, so if you've been following me for a while, this shirt is going to get on my nerves and y'all's nerves. If you've been following me for a while, then you know that every month I have a theme for my videos, or my information. Last month's theme was correspondence. It was the way that we communicate with ourselves, and I introduced the divine trinity, the mind, the body, and the spirit, and how we communicate with those entities. Hey Stephanie, hey girl. This month's theme for August is triggers. Right now we're talking about the things that make us act in ways that we don't want to act. It's about how we can identify, observe what happens when we're triggered, identify the triggers, observe what happens when we're triggered. Hey, Erica, observe what happens when we're triggered, and then find ways to transform our actions that we don't want into ones that we do want. So I am 110% for making stuff up as you go. You do what works for you. And if you get triggered and your response is one that you don't like, why not start there to transform that into something that serves you? You know what I mean? So we have a question that has come in through my emails. And like I was telling you guys that earlier in the comments, I put up my email address, mia.garrett@gmail.com. You guys are welcome to put questions in directly into the chat, but if you'd like to be anonymous, then go ahead and email me, Mia, MIA.GARRET@gmail.com, and I will see them. So the first question that has come in is about relationships. Mia, how do you deal with new relationships, baggage, and kids? Leave. There's actually laughing at the end of that. That's why I laugh. It's a laugh out loud. So dealing with new relationships, baggage, and kids. This is a really good question. Kim has a question too. I'll come back to your question, Kim, but let me answer this one first. How to deal with new relationships, baggage, and kids. I would love to have a little bit more clarity about the baggage that's coming in, but honestly, new relationships should be fun. Right? So there shouldn't be a lot of really heavy lifting that's happening at the very beginning of a relationship. You're really just getting to know each other. The first word that comes up for me is boundaries. When you're in a brand new relationship, you shouldn't really be letting people pass certain boundaries before the timing is right, before they have shown themselves to be a person that can do some heavy lifting with you if you've got a lot of baggage. And then let me back up, because our baggage belongs to us. And so we shouldn't necessarily even be asking our new partners, especially, to lift our bags for us, unless we're at the airport and we're flying somewhere with a beach and mojitos, right? So what is it that you need to do before you are entering into new relationships? Is there some baggage that you don't want to take into the relationship? Is there some baggage that you recognize that you don't want to lift for someone else, right? Because I don't want to lift all baggage. There's some baggage that has to do with other people's children. In fact, no, I love kids, but certain levels of it that I just don't want to deal with, and that crosses boundaries for me. So I think that's the best, without more information, I think that's the best approach would be to look at the boundaries. Hey girl, look at the boundaries that you need to set up to keep yourself protected, as well as look at the baggage that you're bringing into the relationship. And if there's anything that the other person doesn't need to lift, that you need to take care of yourself, and have fun. If it's a new relationship, we should be having fun. We should be, going on dates and walking in parks and eating ice cream and, talking about dreams and stuff, just fun stuff, astrology. I'm into it. Hey, Nas. Okay, Kim, I'm coming back to your question. When your husband, I'm going to read this question as it's written. When your husband gets on your goddamn nerves, what do I do? He can hear you, so don't tell any of my secrets. Hey, Carrie. So, okay, so this is perfect for our theme of triggers, right? When we are living in close proximity, like we're living with our partners, they're our husbands, so we're living with them every day. They are people who know our buttons. They know the things, and I don't even know if that's the thing. I think it's just being with someone all the time can make you more easily triggered, because you're dealing with someone else's they're called idiosyncrasies. You're dealing with someone else's habits. You're dealing with someone else's belief systems. You're dealing with someone else's history. You have like this whole person that's there with you. So when they start to get on your nerves, I would either go into a different room. I mean, if it's a husband, I wouldn't necessarily leave the home, but I would go into a new room and do something that makes myself feel good. Stephanie says cohabitation can reopen wounds that you may have forgotten or not known was there. Yes. Yes, they do. Because I might not even know that this is an old wound. Like you said, Stephanie, you might have forgotten that it was there. Like, disclosure, I have a military father. My father was in the Navy. And so abandonment, I had to watch my father leave every 3 years. For those 3 years he would be in and out, and I was a little girl who had to watch her daddy sail away. And I don't even like to touch those parts, those memories, because it's still painful. But I did not even confront that until very recently. And so maybe when my husband or my boyfriend or whoever decides that they want to go out with the fellas, you know, and I'm 20 years old or 21, and they decide they want to go out and have a good time, I'm triggered, and I don't even know why. I don't even know why him leaving and walking out of that door is making me feel so angry, so abandoned, so frustrated, you know, rubbed just completely the wrong way. And a lot of times we don't even identify it as anger, frustration, sadness, fear, you know, neglect. We don't identify as as those things. We identify it as I'm feeling some type of way. I don't even know why I'm feeling some type of way, right? However, that's work of the self. Now that's deep. Exactly. It's like daddy leaving all over again. And we don't even know. We don't even know that that's what it is. And so that's why it's so important, Kim, to get back to your original question. What do? You go do something that makes you feel good. You know, you go do something that makes you feel happy, that makes you feel whatever it is that you want to feel. You want to feel excited. You want to feel loved. Call a friend and talk about something that is exciting in your life. You want to feel, you want to laugh, and you want to feel like you're having a good time. Watch something funny. A friend of mine and I have been exchanging funny videos for like 2 days, and it has really, I was literally sitting in the parking lot of the daycare waiting for the cars in front of me to move because it was raining. I had to be underneath the, you know, the thing when I picked my babies up. And I laughed so hard that tears were strolling down my face. So I'm not upset that the people in front of me haven't moved for 10 minutes. They're in there talking to teachers or whatever they're doing. And I'm enjoying myself. I have now made a situation that could make me very frustrated. It's raining. It's chilly outside. I'm ready to pick up my children. I've been in the car all day. This was my day yesterday. And now I've used it as an opportunity to enjoy myself, to be entertained. I might as well have been at a comedy club. And when I walked into the building, everyone feels that joy. And so when you walk into the other room where your husband is, where he once was getting on your damn nerves, you know, then you can radiate this energy of happiness and love and joy. And transformation is real. Energetic transformation, that joint is real, and it's popping, especially when you're living together. You know, when you're in a lifelong relationship, you know, you would not believe how much your energy will influence your partner's energy, good and bad. So take control. Oh, Stephanie says, yes, take control of your energy and mindset. Disengage from the trigger and engage with joy. Circle back later when your emotions are not paramount. This is me cheering on that word, sis. How do you choose happiness and joy continuously when you are hurt by your mate? So pain is a funny thing, right? I think about pain as a blinking red light in your car. Your car's check engine light comes on. Pain is our check engine light. It can be physical pain or emotional pain. It means that there's something there that needs to be addressed. Now, that the piece of your question, that's how do you choose happiness and joy continuously, is about intention. So if you find that you're having an issue with choosing happiness and joy, then maybe before you really get going in the morning, when you're laying in your bed and you're just really waking up and you're just kind of, your thoughts are conscious, maybe that's the moment where you will intend for yourself to choose joy and happiness today. And it sounds like this. This is me sleeping. I'm going to choose happiness and joy today. What are my intentions for today? To choose happiness and joy, to choose happiness and joy. Then I follow up with a meditation and like something with breath. I'm really big on breathing and meditating and talking, okay? So I talk too. So it can be something like I'm breathing in joy and breathing out happiness. Literally, joy, happiness, joy, happiness, joy, happiness. And it sounds so weird, and I sound weird in the morning too, but it works for me to breathe in joy and breathe out happiness. And you would be really surprised how just the setting of intention and the breathing and meditating on these concepts of joy and happiness, how they affect your day. Steph says, how do you define happiness? We need to know this before we can choose it. What it looks like, what does it sound like, smell like, taste like for you? This is so true. This is so true. It's knowledge of self. Woman, know thyself. Because if happiness is still something that is just like a concept, happy, I want to be happy, and also knowing that happiness is not a like none of us are in a constant state of happiness, like that's, I don't even think we would want to always be in a constant state of happiness, because then how would we truly connect with others if we were always just feeling happy? Sometimes we have to feel sad, or we have to feel frustrated, or we have to feel angry to know that something needs attention. And when we know, hey guys, hey everybody that's coming in, and we know once we figure that something needs attention, then we can do the work, right? We can do the work of solving the problem. But in order to be happy, in order to choose happiness and joy on a daily basis, first I think it begins with setting your intentions. And just like Stephanie said from BLC New York, to understand what it is that makes us happy. What is that foundation? What is that? What does it sound like? What does it smell like? What does it taste like? What does it feel like? How to create happy moments for yourself. Stephanie does something really cute that I really love. She dances all the time. She had like a whole video of her dancing and singing, and just watching her do that makes me really happy. That makes me happy. Putting your focus on things that lift your spirit. I have this amazing Instagram family. Y'all my family. I have this amazing Instagram village where when I am going through my stories, it's mostly uplifting. 99% of it is uplifting. And so like Sassy Nation has joined us. If you're not following the Sassy Nation, homegirl has good stuff. Even if it's just like her random talking videos and her chia seed water that she made one day that I had no idea that even existed, but I started making it and it's the bomb. So finding happiness in these the things that you put your attention on. I hope that answers your question, Kim. I said a lot. That was a lot of words. So if you have just joined us, welcome to, wait, hold on. I have to get my voice together. Welcome to Therapy Thursdays. This is your session. So if you have questions, I love you, Mia. I love you too, Stephanie. I love you too, girl. Dancing frees me and shifts my energy. Listen, dancing helps me, but also, hey coach, hey sir, dancing helps me too, but also like mirror work. A lot of mirror work is very helpful for me, where I pump myself up. Like, I'm a high energy person anyway, if you guys haven't been able to tell that I'm very high energy. But looking in the mirror and being like, girl, you got this. This is our day, boo. This is for us. The world is not our oyster. The world is our picnic. Choose what you want, girl. It's for you. It was made for you. It is a projection of you in your mind. So having those types of conversations with myself is like, it gets me into a better space, even if I've been triggered. So this month's theme for August is triggers. How do we identify triggers? How do we observe them and watch them? How do we keep track of them? How do we take our unhealthy responses to triggers and transform them into the things that serve us, right? So some people can get triggered, not me, of course, but some people can get triggered and be ready to fight, you know? And when you're ready to fight, that's your check engine. Boop, I've got something going on in here that I need to address because I'm ready to hit someone. That can be transformed. That same energy, it's just movement. Fighting is just movement. It is just releasing your anger onto someone or something through movement. And I know 100 different ways to move, or to whether it be going for a walk, dancing, singing, whether it be just, and whatever it is, if you believe that it works, it will. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you get your body moving, even if you're at your desk and you're just shaking your knee or doing a little dance with your hand or with your shoulders. My shoulders just started doing this because they got happy. You know, nobody has to know that you're calming yourself down, but you are, and it's movement. So it's about, for me, it's about transforming something that is not serving you into something that is serving you. That's alchemy. Taking one thing, transforming it into another. You know, people were taking lead, turning it to gold, which is really just a metaphor for taking something that you have no use for and making it useful, right? Ruthie says, how can I work on my mental health? It's really important but I also know it is not as easy as it sounds. I've always had a scattered mind. I just feel like my mind is never at peace. Thank you so much, Ruthie. Thank you for sharing that. What a great question. So I empathize with you because I have a very fast moving mind as well. And I think that when you have a lot of chatter going on in your mind, if you have a lot of things that you're dealing with, a lot of things that you are thinking about, and it's just kind of like it never stops. It's just one thing after another thought. And it's kind of like, almost like you're on a roller coaster. If you've ever been on a roller coaster and it's going up, and it doesn't feel like it's building up momentum because it's just kind of going up. And then all of a sudden, boom, you're just on the ride. Slowing down those thoughts is about taking control over what's happening now. So let's say that you're on that roller coaster and the thoughts are just one behind the other, behind the other, behind the other. And you recognize it. Step one, I recognize that my mind is all over the place. Maybe you will find one thing to focus on. That could be watching the clouds. You know, keep it real simple. That could be something, watching birds play in the trees, watching, and I'm a nature girl, so I always kind of go to nature. But it could also be, they have those fidget spinners now. It could be spinning the fidget spinner. It could be, but I liked something physical because it takes you out of your mind. It takes you it takes you off the roller coaster. So it could be, you know, taking your shoes off and going and putting your feet in the grass, you know, feeling something tactile. Oh, I love manipulatives. Anything that you can play with in your hands, these can be a manipulative. You know, I can take this off and observe it. I can look at it and say it's brown, it has edges, I see a slit in the middle. These are things, simple things that take you off the roller coaster of your mind, that take you off of the scatteredness of your thoughts. Now, once you have control, okay, so we've done some things, right? We've recognized that there's a problem. I need control over my thoughts. My thoughts are everywhere and I want it to stop. So we've identified that. Then we have chosen an intervention. I'm going to observe something in my physical space. Now, after we've done that, we feel better. What do we want to do next? Put your mind to work for you. Our minds, they're tools. Our mind is a tool for manifestation, for getting things done. And so if you don't put it to work, it's going to work anyway, right? It's going to do what it do anyway. You have to give it something to do. So let's say after you've done your intervention, your observation of things in your physical environment, then you make a list. You say, okay, what is it that I want to do? Maybe you only put 2 things on that list, max 3. And you start working on each one. You start at the top and work your way down. I hope that's helpful. That's like a nice 3-step process of how to slow your mind down and taking care of yourself, taking care of your mental self. Because, you know, you don't want to just focus on your mental. Remember, in our videos and lessons in July, it was all about that divine trinity. It's 3 parts. It's mind, it's body, it's spirit. And so if your mind is off track, or it's doing something that is scattered, is overworking, then focus on those other 2 areas. Get in the physical, because these 3 things, these 3 entities that make us who we are, they are all useful, right? So if the mind is going crazy, then not crazy, but if it's doing something more than what you want it to do or less than what you want it to do, focus on the physical. Even with anything, like if your mind is not disciplined, have a fast of something that is physical. Like I'm really disciplined. It's very important to me right now, and so I am fasting from alcohol until the 25th, and that is one of the things that's how I discipline myself, because a glass of wine is a piece of treasure for me, but no wine until the 25th. Erica says from EJ Counseling, ATL, says self-talk is so important. Developing a relationship with yourself can be very powerful in emotional management. So true. Woman, know thyself. Woman, know thyself. So this is Therapy Thursdays. If you guys have more questions and you feel comfortable putting them into the chat, please do so, but you can also email me. I'm going to put my email address in the comments again so you can see them. Let's see, ret@gmail.com. I sing everything, y'all. If you don't know me in real life, I make a song for all things. All things. Okay, great, Ruthie. Yay. I'm glad that was helpful. So like I said, if there are questions, you can ask them here, or you can email me. I just put my email in the chat. If you feel like you don't want to put all your business out there. Will you continue this conversation in a PM Live on my page? Yes, girl. Now, let me tell you about PM Lives. Ma'am, I have 2 very small people running around in my PM Lives, but they make life exciting for me You know, they're 1 and 3. They might pop in. They might make some noise. What time are you thinking? Yes, kids. Yes, kids. Yes, these beautiful, loud boys that I have in my life. These little kings. Stephanie, what time were you thinking? Let's do it. We gotta jump into this. I'm down for it. 8. Let's do 9. I can get them in bed by 9. If we can do 9, I think we'll be really good. So any other questions? Oh, until you guys have questions coming up, let's finish talking about triggers. So triggers is the theme for this month, right? And I wanted to roll into triggers after talking about how to communicate with the self next week or the week after. Wow, 9, damn, it's summer. Listen, Christopher, my kids are in school. School started on the day before yesterday. What's today? Thursday? No, school started yesterday for us. So we here in the South are no longer in summer, and we're going to bed at 8. Okay? That's what we doing around here. I don't know what y'all doing up there in the North, but we in school. We in school nights. Next week or the week after next, we can do tonight, or we can do next week or the week after next. We'll talk logistics. Yes. Because I'll do this with you. I will do this with you on this live. So until questions, let's talk triggers. So the reason why I wanted to follow up with triggers after talking about communication with the self, communication with your mind, body, spirit, is because now it's time to talk about how we move around the world, how we engage ourselves, how we check in on ourselves to see if we're on the right path. Once we define what it is that we want to do, what our best self looks like, what she talks like, what she does every day, what that best self or what he sounds like, what he does every day. Once we identify those things and we are challenged, right? Once we're challenged, then how are we responding? Because that's how we know when we're triggered, that's how we know that we're making those changes. Because when I was 15 and was triggered, I may have cursed you out and punched you in the face. But now that I'm 33, I might do a cute little laugh and spin and go about my business. That's growth. Chris says, thanks for adding. It's 2018, me too. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that says. Yeah, for sure, coach. We can do a live together. No problemo. So, what are triggers? Triggers are stimulus. Triggers are energy. Sorry, guys. It got paused. Triggers are energy, right? So, triggers are the energy that comes into our reality that makes us feel something emotionally. And our behavior follows that emotion. Now, a lot of times, thoughts are in between the trigger, the stimulus, whatever happens, and the emotion and the behavior. The thought is here, but most times it happens so quickly that we don't even see it. It is our brains are really good at association. And so if something has happened to us in our past and we are triggered, the thought is that fast because our brain already knows what this is. Somebody steps on my shoe. They don't value me. I need to do something. I am being threatened. Stepping on my shoe equals being threatened. We don't go back in our head, hey, what's up, King? We don't go back in our heads and say, oh, when I was 11, I got jumped by a group of boys for my shoes. And now that someone's stepping on my shoe, I probably need to protect myself. We don't do all of that. Our brains are so good. They're so good at association that your shoe getting stepped on is immediately going to the emotion. I'm being threatened. It's already defined it for you. Listen, somebody just stepped on your shoe. You're being threatened. Do something. So now we're triggering an emotion. It could be, let's take it away from something physical. Your husband yells at you, or your wife yells at you. You don't go back to those nights that your parents were yelling at you, your mother or father was yelling at you. It goes straight into, they don't value me. And that feeling rises up. And when that feeling rises up, that emotion, the energy of your behavior quickly follows it. And so that's what a trigger is. It is a stimulus that associates emotion, right? So you don't have to really think, because it already does the associating for you. And so immediately it feels like the emotion pops up, right? So that's the trigger. Now, what we do when we're triggered is up to us. You know? Thank you, girl. This is it. This is the work, right? What we do when we're triggered is up to us. Most of the time, we do what we've always done, right? We do what our moms did when they were triggered. I have a memory, and please don't tell her I told y'all this. I have a memory of my mother hitting my father with something when she was triggered. And so I thought in my younger years that when a woman is angry, she hits. Why not? Why wouldn't she hit? You know, she's mad. She can. And I think that, and I share that with you because I think that that is a common thing that we observe when we're young women. And I think that it's a common thing that we carry on with us into our womanhood, is that when we are angry, the dishes fly and the fists do too. And that's normal. That's just the way that women do things. We're emotional, right? So 2 phrases I hate. Women are just emotional and boys will be boys. 2 things we need to throw in the trash immediately. Okay? Women are just emotional, boys will be boys, because it does not hold us accountable to be what we know we can be. Okay? So, I lost my train of thought. What'd I say? So, we were talking about triggers, and somebody help me. I lost my train of thought with that. Women get emotional and boys with boys. Oh, associations. So, what we do when we're triggered is up to us. And so one thing that I like to work with people is to track your triggers, is to be an observer of what is happening in your reality and writing these things down, right? When I was fighting, it wasn't the person I was fighting my fears. Exactly. You don't even know why this one thing made you so angry that you are beating somebody up with your fist. You know, a lot of times it's the response, it does not match what's happening in your reality. Like a journal. Yeah, you can do it like a journal, but everybody doesn't like to write. So you can also track your triggers with video on your phone. You can do it on your voice recording. You can do it, you can write them down too, of course, but I like to be dynamic with tracking your triggers because you have to do what works for you. Like I said before, I am a huge supporter. This is me supporting. I'm a huge supporter of making things up, of doing what works for you. So if you have to pull out your camera and give yourself a quick, this motherfucker just tried me video, do it. Go with it. Keela, hey Keela. Or if you have to do a voice recording really quickly, do that. Go in the bathroom, say this is what happens. Even if it's a nightly recording, of what's going on during your day, you know, but it is a diary, a journaling of what's triggering you and how you're responding and how did it serve you. So what triggered you? How did you respond? And did that response serve you? So those are the three things that you want to observe when you are tracking your triggers. And the reason why you want to do that is because, first of all, you want to know what's triggering you, because then you can go deeper with that. You have it gives you something to start with. I don't know why Alice in Wonderland just came up, or Alice Through the Looking Glass, when she walks through the mirror. That's good. It's like, that's the mirror. Your trigger is the mirror for you to walk through, so that you can go a little deeper into the why of why you've been triggered. But for now, just what's the trigger? How did you respond? Because there's always a response to a trigger, you know, always, no matter what you do. Even if it's just inside and you're biting your lip, that's one. And what's so important about how we respond is sometimes we can get into the habit of just pushing things down, not saying anything, not rocking the waters, not properly expressing the emotions. What my brother just said, not properly expressing the emotions. That turns into all kinds of mental illness and disease. And so we don't want to so even if you do nothing as a response to your trigger, write that down, record that. I didn't do anything. They did this, or I felt this, and I didn't do anything. I did nothing. And that didn't feel good. That didn't serve me. So now we're talking about, how did it serve me? It kept me out of jail, or it kept me having a job. That might be what served you. But did it serve your emotional growth? Did it serve you getting to honoring and connecting with and aligning with the best version of yourself? Because that's where we want to go, right? That's the goal, is to experience the best version of ourselves. Sir says, once you know what triggers you, what can you do to change it if it's a negative reaction? I'm so glad you asked. What a great question, because that was the next step. So what can you do to change it if it's a negative reaction? So I am really big on transmutation. So taking something that you already do that is not serving you and transforming it, or transmuting it, changing it into something that does serve you. So earlier we talked about fighting, and Amber, I see your example about bosses, and we'll get to that because that's about power, right? So earlier we talked about fighting. If you are one to want to fight when you are triggered for anger, and if you're feeling angry, you want to hit someone, that is movement. So we're stripping away the actual behavior to its essence, right? And the essence of fighting is movement. The essence of cursing someone out is using your voice to express yourself. So instead of fighting, you may go for a run. You might know that the people at work trigger you daily, and every single day you want to strike someone, right? You want to just strike them. You might put running or working out in your lunchtime hour because you know what's up. You know you're going to get triggered. You know you're going to want to fight. What if your reaction is no reaction or suppression? So that's when that starts getting into sickness. You don't want to not react. But if your reaction is no reaction, how do we transmute that into, or transform that into something that will serve you? That's a really good one. If you're doing nothing, then maybe your answer would be to meditate. Maybe stillness is something that does serve you. Maybe, but doing nothing does not serve you. But stillness is in nothing. Non-action is in non-response. And the thing that comes up for me when it's non-action is meditation, is going into yourself and being quiet. And when you're at work or when you're in a room full of people, this can be really challenging, right? It can be really, hey Jenny, this can be really challenging to retreat into meditation. But sometimes you can put your headphones in and meditate with music, or do like a quick 5-minute meditation. And people don't have to know that you're meditating, you know, especially if you're like at your desk or if you're in a room full of people. You can slide off to the side, you can go into a hallway, you can leave the room. There is nothing wrong with leaving the room. Even if you're in the middle of a meeting, just excuse yourself. Excuse me, out, right back. And walk out. There's nothing wrong with that. We really have to prioritize our mental health. Go to the bathroom. Yes. Go to the bathroom and shut the door. And take your phone with you. Take your headphones and do a 5-minute meditation. Who cares what people think? Who cares if they're questioning why you left or what's going on? Forget them. You have to take care of yourself. So Chris, that really made me think. That was a great question. If your response is nothing, and maybe meditation would be the way that you turn that into something that serves you. If you're an empath, you need to run. Yeah, if you're an empath and people are constantly triggering you, definitely remove yourself from that situation, or remove yourself for the moment, you know, just to regroup and practice whatever the skill is that you need. You're welcome, cuz. You're welcome. Let's see, where are we at with time? We have about 15 minutes left. I wanted to stay on for an hour. You guys have been so good. This is my very first Therapy Thursday, and you guys are amazing. Y'all are my village. Y'all are my family, and I just really appreciate you being open and willing to share your experiences. I really just thank you. I thank you for being here. I really do. Bye, girl. Thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate you for showing up. Oh, thank you, Stephanie. Will you be releasing an ebook explaining different tactics? That's an idea. You know, I have 10 majillion, definitely, girl. I have 10 majillion, and that is a real number, ideas for ebooks and content. I'm just trying to like get through it, because here's my issue, is that I have this pile of creative content, and I start something and then I'm like, oh, let me try this next one. Oh, let me just go to this next one. And I start jumping from thing to thing. So yes, tactics and LaToya interventions are coming soon. I actually have a project that I'm working on with a business partner. She is in the room. Her organization is Big Baby LLC. We're gonna come out with some interventions. Don't you already have a workbook available? Yes, I do, Ishaq. It's called Best Self. It is a roadmap to discovering what the best version of yourself looks like. Toya said you have to let the spirit guide you. Yes, that's intuition. But sometimes people aren't connected even to spirit and intuition, and they need that guidance, you know, that awareness. Am I glowing? Thank you. I'm happy. I'm so happy, y'all. It's amazing what clarity and this work can do for us, you know. When you start to look inside and start doing the work of knowing yourself, that will make you glow. Oh, I meant the creative process. Huh, that too. How can they find the workbook? So the workbook is on my website. It's villagelifetherapy.com. I'm going to write it. Somebody teach me how to put up um, those comments that stick, that just keep on. Somebody teach me how to do that. Village Life Therapy.com. So there is villagelifetherapy.com, and if you go to the website, there's something on the front page where you can just click and get the ebook. It's not an ebook, it's a guided journal. You can click and get the guided journal. Type it, hold it, you pin it. Let me see. Hold on, I'm trying to be technical. Stephanie, you the real MVP. Ishak, thank you for asking, what services do I offer? So right now I am offering 3 different ways to consume Village Life Therapy services. One is therapy in the environment. That means that we're face-to-face in the environment of your choice, right? So I can come to you if you are in the Metro Atlanta area. We can do this in your home if you're most comfortable. We can do this at a park. We can go to a coffee shop. Wherever you feel comfortable, we can be in the environment. I also offer therapy over the phone for those of you who are not in Metro Atlanta, or you just don't feel comfortable meeting up. Everybody doesn't like face-to-face. That's something that I've learned over my years of being in practice, is that some people just really need a conversation. So I offer therapy over the phone. And then I also offer a responsive journaling experience. So responsive journaling is where you share your journal with me, and you can post unlimited amount of journal entries. I will read them and respond 4 times a month. That is a monthly subscription. It's $100 a month. You get 4 written responses from me. And these are not like those little, oh, this was nice, or, you know, it's not just little responses. These are in-depth, reading over your thoughts and your feelings, responding to each thing that you're touching on, recognizing any trends that are there, or recognizing any patterns of thought that's coming up, and really being able to dig into that. You get that 4 times a month plus a 30-minute over the phone session. So you get all of that for $100 a month. Let's see, what services are. How have your experiences, Ishak, I don't know if that was complete. I don't understand. How have your experiences been? I don't know. Oh, been this year for you. Have any situations been transformative? Great question. I have had a very transformative experience, but Instagram is telling me that I have 1 minute and 49 seconds left. And so next week on Thursday, we can dig into my transformative experience, because I definitely have a pretty dope story, a pretty dope journey that I'm on that a lot of people might not know about. So we can definitely dig in. I just want to say, hey, Alexis, girl, you late, girl. It's almost over. You done missed it. I definitely want to say thank you to everybody for joining. Thank you for staying with me. A lot of you stay for the whole hour, and I really, really appreciate that. Please turn on your notifications for this. I'm definitely going to save it. Toy, you're going to have to show me how to save it, because I need an Instagram class, guys, on how to do all of these things. Turn on post notifications on my profile, or on your profile, wherever that is. And I will see you guys next Thursday. This is every Thursday, guys, okay? And if you'd like to work with me, hit me up in my DMs or send me an email. You can also click the link in my bio to take a very short little survey, and then you get a free 33-minute session with me. I call it the foundational session, and we can keep doing that deeper dive if you feel that you need it. I appreciate you guys again. Bye.